That was fantastic, Mike. Thank you. Unbelievable. I'm worn out already. That was incredible, Mike. Thank you ever so much. It's Mike Peters in concert here on BBC Radio Wales. It's Radio Wales Music Day, and we're enjoying a fabulous night of entertainment with the BBC National Orchestra of Wales and a very special audience as well at the Hodderknott Hall here in Cardiff. And Mike Peters, the national treasure that is. Let's have a few words with this guy. How do you do it? How do you do stuff like that? That was incredible.
Well, it's not just down to me. It is a real collaborative effort. It's down to the BBC wanting to be brave and adventurous and do something like this with the music of the alarm. Yeah. And then John Quirk arranged it and came up with a great score. And we worked a lot while I was on the Declaration tour, over the phone and on Skype, singing ideas to each other down the phone, scribbling ideas. We spent an afternoon in the BBC canteen and singing into phones with all our little ideas. Yeah, it was very strange how it came about. And then John would go away and he obviously burnt a lot of midnight oil doing the arrangements and turn it into real music that the orchestra musicians can read. And then here we are when it all comes together with the choir and with the audience singing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well put. And is it strange for you tonight? Obviously, it's a wonderful thing, but hearing that orchestra and the brilliant choir behind you playing on songs that you probably wrote on an acoustic guitar in your kitchen or whatever, it's amazing. You know, how does that make you feel?
Well, it's very humbling, to be honest, because, like I say, I started out as a punk musician, really. to hear it played on this scale it's very emotional. When you hear all the music come together that could possibly be found within the framework of the chords, and you hear all the harmonies from the violins and the extra pieces of percussion and the little subtleties and the choir singing, it makes you feel like you're part of something much bigger, which is how I see music. It's much bigger than the band, it's bigger than the person who wrote it, and it represents a community, a generation, a country. It has no limits, and when you hear it in this setting, it makes you realise what a great job you've got being a singer. Yeah,
absolutely. And New South Wales, I mean, they all sounded great, but New South Wales, the version that you just did with the orchestra tonight, that was phenomenal. The hairs on the back of my neck were standing up. And I haven't got many of those, believe me. So it's so powerful.
It did, and the arrangement was incredible, and the power, it gets you. I mean, I was choking up singing it, and it kind of affected me. You can hear it in me now. I'm still in turmoil from hearing it, and you know, it's just great to have lived this long to be able to be part of something like this. And you never thought things would, you know, when we made it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the obvious question is how are you? Because you're one of the world's greatest fighters, Mike Peters. You look incredible. How are you these days?
I'm great. You know, I owe my life to my family, to Jules and Dylan and Evan, my boys, and the national healthcare in Wales is second to none. It's world class, and they keep me going. And some incredible supporters here. We climb mountains and we sing songs.
Yeah. You're the most positive man I've ever met. I've always said this. Let's talk a little bit about Declaration, because it's 30 years now since the making of that record. Has that flown by for you?
It has.
Does it seem 30 years?
At times it does, but I still feel like the same person in my head and in my heart and my soul. And although it's been a long time, it's still very fresh to me. I think, I've always been grateful for the opportunities that music has brought to me, to go and make Declaration in a studio like Abbey Road. That was something I wanted to cherish for my whole life, and I can still see it now in my mind's eye. I can still remember standing there, singing some of the songs that we're going to sing tonight in the middle of the studio like this, and
was that the Beatles studio?
It was. It was the Beatles studio, and I'd found out that there was these red arc lights that John Lennon used to like having on when he sang, and I thought, can I have those, please? And they come out, and the red lights are on. I'm singing into the same microphone, and to be part of that kind of history is that comes with you forward into life, that pays forward with you, and so the album is very present to me as well.
Yeah, and it's a phenomenal album. I remember when it came out in 1984, I purchased a copy. In fact, I wrote you a fan letter. When were you thinking of replying?
So the internet came along.
That always gets a laugh, that one. I tried that one on Glen Tilbrook. It never fails. It is seen as a classic. I mean, when you were making the record, did you know that you were doing something special? Because, of course, it was the first Alarm album.
There was a sense about it that we were going to sing these songs for a long time because of what had gone before. You know, we hadn't been a great group before The Alarm, even though it started as a punk band called The Toilets. It merged into another mod power pop group called 17, and we weren't the best group. We were good entertainers, but the songs didn't mean anything to anybody, and we had a significant night playing with the Stray Cats in London. It happened to be the night John Lennon passed away, and his life was taken away, and all our hopes of making it as a band were crushed on that night, and we woke up in the morning to find out that Lennon had been assassinated. And driving home to Wales, you know, we tuned into the radio all the way home, and it was just John Lennon's music. And listening to it in the back of the van on the way home, I just felt my music was so insignificant, and it was all really about getting away from something and trying to get a record deal and become famous as a musician. And I went home with the resolve that day to write songs that would make a lasting impression on people, would be songs that I'd be proud to sing for the rest of my life. And that was the fuel that went into what has become known as the Declaration album.
Yeah, and it's a phenomenal album, and you've, of course, recently re-recorded it. The next song that you're going to be playing for us on tonight's concert is Shout to the Devil. Now, tell me a little bit about this one.
Well, Shout to the Devil is the very first song The Alarm ever played live in concert.
Really? On
June the 6th, 1981, in the Victoria Public House in Prestatyn.
How many people were there?
Well, shall we be kind? There wasn't many. In fact, when we went, the song started its life because before we actually went on stage, there was actually nobody in the venue.
Literally nobody?
Literally nobody, because the public bar had two sides to the bar, and one side was a potential audience, and in the gig room was us. And I think the look of us, The Alarm in 1981 had scared off everybody into the other bar. So we thought it was time to go on stage, and there was nobody there. So we thought, well, let's make some. What are we going to do? We can't play 68 Guns now and marching on all these great songs we've got. So I said to the guys, let's go out and make some noise, and then we'll just start with a racket, and then people will think, what's that noise, and come in and find out what it is. And I had this riff that went bam, 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 bam. I said, let's just play that, and I'll call in the drums. And we didn't even have any lyrics when it started, and I just started making things up on the spot, and then that was the first song we ever played. And by the time we got to the end, the room was full, and we burst into life as a band. Wow. With our second song, and everyone was with us all the way from there on.
Yeah, and who's going to play on this track with you?
This is the mighty Smiley.
Smiley, there he is. Hey, Smiley. On the drums. Used to play with Robbie Williams. Yeah. Until he got sacked.
Got sacked for writing better songs than Robbie Williams could write them. That's it. And also worked with my hero with Joe Strummer as well.
Oh, so yeah, of course, yeah. Okay, well, let's have now a live version of Shout to the Devil. Mike Peters.
Said the preacher, for I break the news. Let me take you to the heart of this promised land, built on a green hill far away, where somebody cried, somebody died in the wind. You don't have to run to the palaces of gold. Bricks and mortar one day must surely fall. You will look Monroe right between the eyes and pray that somehow someone's gonna come along and save her, save his soul. I'm gonna shout to the devil, gonna shout to the sky, shout to the gods almighty high. Preacher, teacher, preacher, teacher, it's in the heart and it's in the soul. Look no further than your own backyard. Live your life as it should be lived. Follow your heart, for the truth is everlasting. Yeah. And the wine runs cold in the blood of man. The bread is dry. Stay a pushing to the back of your mind. senators, dreamers on a mile to pay, and the big Duke star in death to find out the hounds of and we all foreshore the glory, my friend, even all the king's horses and all the king's businessmen. I got a golden eagle flying high, but I and I still find it hard to keep the wolves at bay. I'm gonna shout to the devil, gonna shout to the sky, shout to the gods almighty high. Shout to the devil, gonna shout to the sky, shout to the gods almighty high. Preacher, it's in the heart and it's in the soul. Look no further than your own, my God. Live your life as it should be lived. Follow your heart, for the truth is everlasting. I'm gonna shout to the devil, gonna shout to the sky, shout to the gods almighty high. Shout to the devil, gonna shout to the sky, shout to the gods almighty high.